well, this is wild. First of all, the reason that they call it pig butchering is because the scammers, they start by building trust with their victims, luring them in, fattening up for slaughter, like pig farmers do before they slaughter their pigs. Well, in this case, the scammers slaughter victims by stealing thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars from them.
At 4:17 a.m., under the sodium haze of Mulholland Drive, 5 unmarked SUVs idle nose to tail against a retaining wall. Headlights stay off. The lead vehicle's dash timer counts down from 40 minutes. A joint FBI-ICE tactical element waits for the green light from the Los Angeles Field Command Center, 2 miles downslope. The infrared drone feed flickers, freezing on the mansion's upper balcony. One moving signature. Wind speed 8 knots from the west, temperature 64 degrees. A helicopter orbiting at 900 feet reports intermittent signal dropout. In the convoy, no one talks. The digital clock on the command tablet hits -38 and starts flashing red. Someone inside that house is moving money. A low-band radio hiss breaks the quiet. The team leader, Special Agent Ruiz, adjusts his throat mic, confirms Channel 4 secure. A second convoy climbs from the canyon side, 6 minutes behind schedule, hauling the evidence response unit and 2 network engineers. Their arrival delay is only 1 mile of distance, but already enough to tighten every muscle in the lead truck. The infrared feed zooms again. Heat blooms where there shouldn't be any, under the garage floor. Ruiz reads it as multiple bodies. The tech operator says servers. The difference matters, but no one has time to argue. By 4:23, perimeter drones are at 180 feet altitude, maintaining a lazy orbit. Their strobes are masked. Each drone relays to the mobile command van, where 2 analysts track heartbeat sensors and traffic density. No vehicles approaching within 2 kilometers. The mansion sits on a half-acre slope. High walls, steel gates, a 30-foot swimming pool reflecting the moon like a polished plate. ICE Special Response Team Alpha sets positions at the north and west corners, both within 15 meters of entry points. Ruiz whispers countdowns over comms. 5, 4, 3. Every rifle-mounted camera records steady. At -34 minutes, the first flashbang detonates. A concussive pop, then glass raining down from the foyer window. Door charges follow. 3 directed blasts spaced by 2 seconds each. The mansion lights flare, go dark, then flare again as the grid trips. Inside, body cams catch rapid movement. Marble hallway, staircase, 2 occupants surrendering near the main landing. Team Bravo secures them. Zip ties, checks for concealed devices. Heart rates spike. Ruiz reads the handheld monitor. Network activity inside the property drops sharply, then vanishes. Command interprets it as power failure. Ruiz logs, site secure, power down. The assumption feels right. Outside, generators hum at 60 decibels. FBI digital forensics techs uncase hardline sniffers, plugging into the mansion's fiber junction. Data traces show packet loss, 98% dropout. Looks cooked, says one agent. In the van, a system administrator confirms 0 throughput and flags it as success. But within the encrypted logs, a secondary signal routes out through a utility conduit under the street. The code fragments look like random noise to human eyes. The command center reads, "Transfer terminated." The actual upload is already underway. At 4:41, inside the house, the evidence team begins cataloging. 36 network drives stacked under the staircase, each still warm to the touch. Temperature sensors read 104 degrees Fahrenheit. A forensics officer marks each with fluorescent tags. Ruiz walks through the main living area. Persian rugs, biometric safes, walls of imported marble. Nothing looks improvised. On the coffee table, 3 open laptops display error messages. He calls it clean. The agents relax, helmets off, visors up. 2 minutes later, the overhead smoke detector lights flicker again. The house hums faintly, a low electrical resonance from somewhere below ground. No one connects the sound to the data still moving at fiber speed eastward. The convoy at the Canyon Ridge receives confirmation at 4:47. Primary objective secure. No hostiles. Proceed to data exfil. Ruiz signs off on the board. Inside the command van, an analyst replays the mansion feed frame by frame, adjusting gain. The thermal signature that first showed multiple bodies stabilizes into one solid block of heat. Too even to be human. She labels it server core residual heat. It will cool in minutes, she says. In truth, the system underneath has shifted to auxiliary routing via a charity's router, less than a mile away. The analysts note the bandwidth spike, but classify it as ISP noise. By 5:02, daylight touches the eastern hills. Air temperature drops 2 degrees as fog rolls from the Pacific. The FBI drone descends to 70 feet for a lower pass. Its camera catches 3 men in custody, escorted to a waiting van. Behind them, agents carry 6 metallic cases, marked EVIDENCE 1 through 6. Ruiz radios command, exfil in motion. The response is calm. Copy. Good work. They believe the mission is closing. Satellite delay on the transmission shows a 1.2-second lag. Too minor to matter, but enough to desync timestamps across every logging system. That lag will later become the difference between capture and loss. Inside the mansion, the power flickers back. Screens on the wall boot into default settings, blank blue fields. The tech unit assumes a reboot triggered by grid restoration. The software clock reads 5:09, 20 minutes fast. The misalignment goes unnoticed. Meanwhile, in a second-floor bedroom, a hidden switch inside a dresser drawer completes a stored command string. In a server farm beneath a Somali community center in Inglewood, 47 terabytes of encrypted data begin automatic migration to overseas nodes. Transfer speed, 290 megabits per second. Completion time, 12 minutes. At 5:11, Cyber Operations Command, 30 miles away, receives a mirror alert. An operator on night shift sees repeating header tags from an unfamiliar source. He cross-checks against the mansion's IP log, finds a match, and reports to the duty officer. They assume remote access by a surviving suspect. Orders go out for a trace. 2 minutes later, the trace resolves to the community center address. The agent on duty says, "We have remote command origin, 1 hop distance." The conclusion is wrong. The data path is local automation, not external control. But now field units believe the suspects are coordinating a second transfer in real time. FBI Field Command orders a secondary raid preparation. Travel distance from the mansion to Inglewood, 12 kilometers. Convoy average speed through early traffic, 60 kilometers per hour. Estimated arrival, 12 minutes. Transfer completion at current rate, also 12 minutes. The arithmetic seems to favor interception. Ruiz leads again, switching convoy formation into 2 columns. Flashing lights stay off. At 5:16, the city begins to wake. Delivery trucks on the boulevard, bus headlights cutting through haze. The convoy snakes past them, black metal sliding in reflection off shop windows. Command updates every 30 seconds. Data transfer progress 44%, 48, 55. The officers in the van recite figures like countdowns. Ruiz checks his GPS map, 4 kilometers out. The cyber tech in the rear seat runs calculations. "We're gaining," he says. The voice sounds confident. The assumption of control feels real. Another vehicle cuts across traffic. The convoy veers, loses 5 seconds. A police cruiser joins for traffic clearing. Siren bursts at 90 decibels. The ambient tension resets everyone's pulse. Nobody realizes that each radio acknowledgement to command is feeding network pings back to the same system they are chasing. At 5:22, the convoy passes Century Boulevard. Transfer completion, 73%. The data flow measured at 160 megabits sustained. Ruiz leans forward. "We'll make it." The driver presses to 80 kilometers per hour. The comms officer relays ETA 6 minutes. The response comes with a half-second delay. Copy. Maintain. They are now following a target defined entirely by signal readings, not human activity. No one inside the vehicles has seen the actual second sight. The illusion of proximity carries momentum that replaces verification. By 5:27, sun breaks the horizon. Shadows cut across the street as the convoy approaches the address. The first vehicle halts 20 meters short. Agents dismount, weapons ready. A banner over the building reads Somali Relief and Family Center. Inside, fluorescent lights flicker. The network trace spikes to 97% transfer. Ruiz orders the entry anyway. 2 rams hit the door at 5:28:03. The wall clock inside reads 5:40, already 12 minutes ahead. Server fans roar behind a partition. Sparks flash from overworked converters. The digital ledger across global servers finalizes block confirmation exactly as the agents breach. The difference between arrival and completion, 1.3 seconds. Inside, the air smells of overheated plastic. A forensics tech yells, "We still got feeds!" Cables glow faint orange. The routers blink wildly, power cycling. Someone kills main power. Fans wind down, a long mechanical sigh. Hard drives still hum under metal shielding, beyond reach without tools. The engineers begin to unscrew panels, but the drives auto-lock. Screens go black. Time marker 5:31:45. Ruiz radios command, target contained. Command replies, "Copy, data intercepted." The words sound correct, but on the distant server farm display, status reads, "Ledger confirmed, irreversible." By 5:40, sunlight fills the street. News vans arrive, drawn by scanner chatter. Local police establish perimeter at 100 meters. Temperature rising, 71 degrees and climbing. Agents carry out boxes, but half are empty. One analyst examines a fiber spool, reads residual current, 15 volts and falling. She notes possible data recovery. The phrasing will later appear in the report, though no data survives. In the mansion still guarded on the hill, evidence units finish loading the last cases. Drone altitude now 150 feet. Battery at 12%. Command orders recall. The drones pivot east, engines whining at 2000 RPM. Camera lenses streaked with condensation. At 6:05, both sites report secure. Arrested suspects are processed through Van Nuys station. Total detainees, 9. None match the digital account holders. The network trace vanishes offshore. Ruiz walks through the Inglewood site, stepping over bundles of CAT6 cable and cracked routers. The floor is sticky with coolant. A screen near the back displays the final ledger signature, frozen at 5:28:02. He checks his watch. 6:08. A gap he can't reconcile. Every device logged, every action by the book. Yet the system behaves as if it predicted each move seconds in advance. FBI Cyber Division files the after-action report at 7:10. Pages of timestamps, packet logs, video stills. The executive summary reads, "Joint operation successful, no casualties, network assets seized." Attached appendices list all confiscated hardware, total value under $10,000. Missing assets line, data migration unknown. The phrase repeats 11 times across the document. Technicians back at headquarters replay network telemetry and realize that radio check-ins correspond exactly to the data confirmation pings. The communication system authenticated the enemy transfer by mistake. By 8:00, sunlight floods both sites. The mansion's pool water ripples under rotor wash from a departing helicopter at 400 feet. On the ground, the generators hum steady at 60 hertz, a sound now meaningless. Ruiz stands at the driveway watching agents load the final van. Air smells of burnt insulation and jet fuel. Over the radio, the duty officer confirms closure. Operation complete. Standing down. Ruiz nods but doesn't reply. The clock on his wrist still shows 12 minutes behind the network timestamp that sealed their loss. Across town, at the community center, power crews cut the building's main breaker. Sparks jump once, then silence. Inside, cooling fans click off one by one. Temperature falls from 90 to 70 degrees in less than a minute. The forensics officers sweep the rooms with handheld EM sensors. All readings 0. Nothing left to chase. Outside, the press line pushes against barriers. Reporters shout questions. None of the agents respond. Trucks pull away, engines low at 2,000 RPM. By 8:32, both convoys disappear into morning traffic. At 9:00, the command center archive finalizes footage. One analyst notices a recurring loop at timestamp 4:41:12. The same frame, duplicated 10 times, drone feed distortion. When enhanced, it shows a spark under the mansion driveway, maybe a junction box. She files a note. Possible secondary conduit. No follow-up order comes. The report closes at 9:15. Operations return to standby. By noon, financial monitors on the East Coast flag a surge of untraceable currency entering offshore wallets. The system marks it as routine volatility. No one connects it to Los Angeles. In the field logs, Operation Sunset Wave concludes clean. The data servers, the suspects, the timing, all listed as contained. In reality, every confirmation signal the agents sent authenticated the transfer they meant to stop. The physical outcome is final. 2 sites silent, 1 network vanished. The tactical record shows success, and every digital timestamp agrees. Only the clocks in Ruiz's watch and the drone's telemetry disagree by 12 minutes, the exact window that decided everything. The files close without correction. Engines cool. Dust settles on the marble floors. From the air, at 1,000 feet, the mansion looks untouched, doors sealed, driveway cleared. But the static still hums faintly through every recorded channel, proof of a system that finished its work the instant it was interrupted.